In this video, we will discuss one of the most frequently asked questions as to the difference between which and that. So this is the one of the most frequent question that I come across from the students. They all want to know the difference between which and that. Well, the difference is more about usage, and we have here two examples. And through these examples, we will see the difference between the two relative pronouns. They both are relative pronouns, and they both create relative clauses. The difference is that usually the case is that which gives us non-essential information, non-essential information, and that gives us essential information. Now, who defines essential or non-essential information? If you as a writer feel that the information that you are giving is very critical, and if that information is removed from the sentence, it might lead to some kind of loss of information or critical loss of information. In that case, that information is essential information. For example, I arrived by the by the flight that landed half an hour ago, right? So this is the sentence. You say, I arrived by the flight that landed half an hour ago. And suppose if you say, I arrived by, um, let's say I arrived by, I would replace the word flight with train. I arrived by Deccan Queen. I arrived by Deccan Queen, comma, which reaches Victoria Terminus at 5:30, right? 5:30 p.m. Now we have two different sentences here. One says I arrived by Deccan Queen, which reaches VT at 5:30 p.m. I arrived by the flight that landed half an hour ago. Now, please understand the information that is given by the word the flight is basically not enough, because there are many flights, and suppose if you eliminate the part which comes after flight, suppose if for a while we forget this information and we believe that the sentence is only till flight, I arrived by the flight. Now this the flight is not enough for me to understand which flight and what kind of flight. I mean, there is critical loss of information. Why? Because I arrived by the flight that landed half an hour ago. Now, when I get to know that the flight landed half an hour ago, I get complete information. I arrived by Deccan Queen, and this name itself is enough, because the user will understand, okay, fine, yes, Deccan Queen comes in the evening at 5:30. So if this information is enough for me to understand that yes, 5:30 is the time at which it arrives at Victoria Terminus, then this information becomes non-essential information. Why? Because from the name I can guess this information. If from the name you can guess this information, then this information becomes non-essential information. But if from the name you cannot guess this information, then this becomes essential information. And if the information is essential, then you must use that. And if the information is non-essential, you must use which. Now let's come to the two sentences here. Mumbai is the financial capital of India, right? So Mumbai is the financial capital of India, which is a coastal city. Now, even if I remove this, there are people who know that yes, Mumbai is is a coastal city, and even if this is removed, it does not make much of a difference to the key information in the passage. What is the key information? Mumbai is the financial capital of India, and therefore I can put this in which is a coastal city within commas, saying that this is non-essential information. Now, imagine if I put that here. The whole sentence looks awkward. Mumbai, that is a coastal city, is the financial capital of India. Why? Because this is a proper noun. The name is enough. The name is enough, and the coastal city has nothing to do with financial capital. And therefore, when you put that and you replace which with that and you create a sentence, you feel that it is an awkward sentence. Why? Because you know that that gives us essential information, which gives us non-essential information. Now let's take the case which is totally contrary to what we have in the first example. The cities that are located on the banks of major rivers are the financial capitals of their regions. Now let's try to remove this. Let's try to get rid of this information. For a while I would say let's assume that this does not exist, and what you have is the cities are the financial capitals of their regions. Which cities? Which cities are the financial capitals of their regions? And immediately you feel that this is information, necessary information, and therefore I must use that. Correct? So the only difference between which and that is more about usage, right? So you can say that which gives us unessential or non-essential information, and therefore I can always remove the information and the sentence still makes complete sense. There is no loss of information. But in the case of that, I cannot do that, because if I do that, then there is critical loss of information. So this is the basic difference between which and that. But usually, in general rule, we leave it to the writer to decide whether he is having a critical information in mind or a non-essential information in mind. If he has non-essential information in mind, he can always use which with commas, and if he has critical information in mind, he can use that without commas. And the rule is that before that we cannot have comma. Before which we can always have commas, but before that we cannot have commas. This is again one major difference, because whatever you put in commas is usually non-essential. We had seen this in the earlier video on relative clauses. So whenever something is non-essential, you can put in commas, but if something is essential, you always remove the commas. This is one of the thumb rules of comma usage, and this is all about which and that.